understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? Blessed is the one who finds wisdom and the one who gets understanding. For the gain from her is better than the gain from silver, and her profit is better than gold. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? The fear of the Lord, the fear of the Lord, the fear of the Lord, fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding. The fear of the Lord, fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding. The fear of the Lord is understanding, understanding. Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way?
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Friday. Brad here. Hope you're having an awesome and blessed day so far. Now, I know that the topic that we are going to talk about today, well, it's probably likely to raise a few hackles, a few eyebrows, maybe even enough concern to hopefully call your representation, because you are being sold a bill of goods. I don't know if you know about the whole student debt loan forgiveness, entitlement program that is getting ready to be thrust down your throat. If you're unaware, there's a bunch of politicians stirring up the pot to say that student loans should just be paid for. They should be taken care of. And boy, oh boy, I hope, Jenna, that you've got a big pocketbook and Big E's Farm and Tammy and Potato Head and Delaney B and MC, Kathy DeJesus and Terry. You guys, I hope you got some deep pockets, because the government's going to basically push for, and hopefully they want to push through, the government paying for all these student debts. Now, it's not all of them, but they want it to be all of them. Why? Well, that's easy. They're buying votes. Simple. But they want it to be all of these student loans are paid for out of the kindness of the government's heart. And guess who's really going to pay for them? Because it ain't going to be Mr. what do they call them over on Monkey Works? Flashbang. They're not calling Flashbang and Bob Marley. They're not writing the check. You guys are. We are. And so today I wanted to hopefully just shine a little bit of light on what I've been seeing in the news and how they are drumming up support. Grandma's Homemade says, I have no pockets. I hear you. I'm there. That's the reason why I want to talk about this today, because hopefully if we can cause enough of a stir, they'll stop this nonsense. They'll just stop it. Because we know how politicians are motivated, right? By power, control, and money. And so the only time that they actually really do give a rip about us, for the most part, I mean, there are exceptions, but 95%. For the most part, the only time they give a rip about us is if we are threatening their jobs, which is making a lot of noise, pointing out the nonsense they're doing, and causing a problem so that they may not get reelected, or you may cause a problem with their fundraising, that sort of thing, or the way that they will, kind of launder money through things like teachers' unions and the like. You know what I'm saying? So the purpose for coming on today and talking about this is so that we can hopefully avert this, because they're expecting you to pay through taxes, obviously, just a ton of money. And I came across, for the student loans, and I came across something today that I saw on, who's the guy? He's on the Daily Caller site. I can't think of it. Dave Rubin. That's it. Dave Rubin. And there's a book that you should download. It's free. And it's basically the playbook of these, I don't even know if you could call them leftists, progressives, like liberals gone crazy, because it's what used to be liberalism isn't anymore. And it's like way, way, way out there. Their playbook used to be a book called Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky. And it was basically, this is how you do it. If you want to cause a problem, if you want to topple a system, this is how you do it. So that used to be Rules for Radicals. Well, they've kind of put a new spin on it. There's a book that you should download, because this is their playbook, and it's called, I've got a copy of it open here. It's called The Beautiful, or just Beautiful Trouble. Beautiful Trouble. And I downloaded it and started reading it. And one of the interesting things about it is that it's just a conglomeration of a bunch of different short 2-3 page articles on how you cause a problem, like a major problem. If you want to topple a system, this is how you do it. And this is a rule book. Like, for example, one of the things in this rule book is you go into museums and you glue yourselves to the wall, or you spray paint, valuable or priceless works of art, and you make your point that way. That's in this. Or here's another one. What's crazy is I started going through this book, and it's like, seen that. There's another one where you're supposed to go into public roads with human barricades so you just stop traffic. Have you seen that lately? It's in this book, Beautiful Trouble. It's the how-to guide if you want to cause a problem to topple a system. Now, the reason why here, Daniel, okay, wait a minute a sec. Hold on, brother. You hear me out. I want you to bring that back up, because you're going to have to bring that back up, because I'm going to talk about something that I don't think a lot of people have looked at when it comes to the student loan forgiveness. Daniel is saying you do not understand the truth. Apparently I'm a ding dong. The banks have skewed the loan programs. Okay. They made their money from government already. Now they're just killing it. Okay. Well, here's the deal. How do I put this? Yeah. It's called personal accountability. And if somebody signed a piece of paper saying that they are agreeing to this, the bank can't add on to it to more. They can't The deal is the deal. You made a deal with the college. You made the deal. You signed the paperwork. You knew what you were going to pay before it. It doesn't change. And you made the deal. And now what's happening is in these teachings that students are basically believing that it should be free. A total entitlement mentality. Completely, why should I have to pay? Okay? But one of the ones that I wish I could bring it up on the screen, but go download it because this is the rule book. It's called Beautiful Trouble, a toolbox for the, let me see if I can spread this out a little bit better. A toolbox for the revolution. That's what it's called. And you can go to their website and boy, oh boy, it looks fun and engaging. It looks like something the youth would really want to get into. But this particular chunk was what really caught my mind today. It's called, one of the tactics they use is called a debt strike that they are going to do, okay? Now, basically a debt strike is exactly what it sounds like. They want to get hundreds of thousands of people to just stop paying their bills. That's it. Just stop paying their bills. And I could see, if you want to topple a system, that's a great way to do it when you think about it. Because, first of all, who likes paying bills? I don't like paying bills, but you pay bills. Why? Because you agreed to it. You spent the money. You did the thing. You bought the car. Now you get to pay for it, right? What they're proposing is just stop paying for anything, because if we have enough people, it will overburden the banks. It will overburden credit cards. It'll overburden the companies that you bought the stuff from. And then there will be some kind of a hard reset. A hard reset, right? So, Big E's farm, they could have used the money they sent across the sea. Yeah. By the way, this is a live stream, so if all of a sudden I start reading comments, that's why. Because if you're watching the replay and going, what is he talking about? Big E's farm. Yeah, there was a lot of money that just kind of, over the past few weeks, a lot of money, billions and billions of dollars, going to some place. I can't really think of the name of it. Rhymes with cranium or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, billions of dollars went over there. And it's a good point. Could have paid for all of that. So here's the thing. Sue Ladine says, you applied for a loan, you pay for it. I'm 66 years old and I've worked 2 jobs off my entire life. Tell my story. I have to pay for your loan. Why? Yeah, why should I have to pay for their loan? Right? Exactly. So I want to get back to this book though. Beautiful Trouble. This debt strike is one of the things they're proposing. And they go into great detail, and there's a nice little graphic of a guy in his cap and gown punching a chain in a ball that says student loan debts on it. Now, here's the thing. It is stealing. The politicians are taking from one people group and giving it to another. It's redistribution of wealth. And it's more than that, guys. It's also designed to divide the people. What is one great thing that politicians do? They're really, really good. It's the magician trick, right? Watch what I'm doing over here. Distraction. No, don't look over here. Don't look over here. Distract. Oh, look at the shiny thing over there. So that they can get away with what they're doing. It's shameful and laughable, but that's what they do. And this is straight up buying votes with your money. Your money. In this line of thought, should we end Social Security? Well, Daniel, I think that one doesn't really apply to this in any way, because Social Security, while it was originally intended to be basically a safety net, like if you all of a sudden became, physically unable to live, it was originally intended to do that, but it quickly over time became basically a retirement program and a savings program. So the way I look at it with that is you've paid in, they should pay it back. Now, if the system wasn't there and we just said, okay, everybody that's paid in, you're going to get your money back. But if we're stopping it, you could agree to say, I'm not going to receive any money in the future, but I don't have to pay in now. Right? So I don't think it applies in any way. Yeah, it's the money was paid in. It belongs to the person that paid it in. So to me, it doesn't apply. But let's get back to this book here, because this is important. I really encourage you to go look it up, because it's what people are being taught now. Beautiful Trouble, a toolbox for revolution. You can actually download it for free, believe it or not. Just Google it. But here's some of the chapters. Let's read some of the chapters. Let me find here we go. Here's the tactics: advanced leafleting, banner hanging, gigantic banners, blockades, creative disruption, creative petition delivery, death strikes, direct action, electoral guerrilla theater. And I saw that one. I actually read that a little bit. Flash mobs, general strikes, hoaxes, human banners, invisible theater, mass street action. This is what's being taught. This is what's being circulated on how to topple the system. And a lot of these things, we're seeing them. They're doing them. Here's one. The one that was really interesting. Well, they're all interesting because it's you're reading their playbook. But one of the things that was in here was the what was it called? The guerrilla theater. Yeah, invisible guerrilla theater. And this is what this is how it's described here. Okay. That what you do is, if you have your activist group, you go into a situation and you quietly just infiltrate. Let's say it was a restaurant, and there's a target in there that you want to accomplish. Like maybe there's a politician you want to embarrass, or you want to make a big scene about, let's say if it's like your Greenpeace or whatever, and you hate that people are eating fish, and so you're going to go in and you're going to make a big scene. Well, what they do is they'll have active people that are the engagers. They will engage in an argument or their purpose for being there. Plus, there's tons of silent actors, but they're all seated into the crowd. You see, they're all seated into the crowd. So it looks like fake outrage, and it is. It's fake staged outrage, but then they'll film it. They'll pop it on the internet. They'll get it out to the world, and it'll be, look what happened. Look what they did. Look what they did. And so a lot of this stuff, guys, is absolutely staged nonsense. So get that book and download it, because share it with as many people as you can, because what they're intending to topple, to tear down our system, our way of living. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. Could it be fixed? I'm hopeful. There are a lot of things that could be, but there's a lot that probably just need to be. However, they're suggesting Marxism. They're suggesting communism. They're suggesting that's what you do. That's the end goal. That's what gets you there. This is what gets you to communism, Marxism. That's what they want. And so the idea that it's just about student loans, that's not nearly the big picture. That's just part of it. That's just part of them trying to drive to the what's called Agenda 2030. If you look it up, you're going to be blown away. You're going to go, oh my gosh, saw that, did that, watched that. That was on the news. They're doing this. Like right now, you've got the teachers union ladies on TV screaming. It's like a switch goes off, and all of a sudden everybody's in lockstep. Must have student loan debt forgiveness. Must have student loan debt forgiveness. And yeah, it worked. It worked in Cuba. It's worked in a lot of places, and this is how they're doing it. Download it and read it, and then that way, the hope would be that you'd be able to just trumpet this so that it can be seen for what it is, and that we can hopefully sway our politicians, get on the phone, spread the word. Now, one of the things, though, I figured this is probably one of the I would say this is one of the most important aspects of the student loan debt idea that nobody's talking about, and you're going to see there's a reason why. And I okay, jump in with a comment, thumbs up, so that this goes out there. This is the idea that I don't think anybody's really talking about student loan debt forgiveness. Now, they want the government to pay for their loans, right? Okay, they say they've got a list of grievances. This is why you should pay our loans off. But bottom line is it's entitlement. They've been taught that it should be free, and this is one of the plays in the playbook. They've been taught everything should be free. Okay? Now, what about, because the politicians are screaming it, because it's easy that they can actually just buy votes. They can just buy. That's easy, right? Young skulls full of mush. It's easy. You pay for their stuff. They will go ahead and sign the dotted line and reelecting you. But what about the schools? Why aren't these colleges, universities, places of education, higher learning, how come it's don't talk about the actual cost of school? Don't talk about the fact that they're raising their prices constantly and consistently. And maybe that might have something to do with the size of the debt. No. We can't talk about that. We can't talk about the fact that the teachers may have a vested interest in that education getting more and more and more costly. We couldn't possibly have the discussion that the professors are guaranteed X amount increase all the time. Whether the students do well, whether they do poorly, it doesn't matter. And the people that are pushing this beautiful trouble, a toolbox for revolution, are the ones that benefit the most from it, don't you think? Well, how about that? Why aren't these politicians who are so passionate about student debt forgiveness, they'll get out there and right? Why aren't they saying, hey, schools, why aren't you keeping a steady pricing that goes along with how people can afford things? Why is it that they get off the hook? Nobody ever tells them you're charging an exorbitant amount. Why isn't anybody holding them to account? No. The politicians don't want to do that either. Because, maybe there's some kind of money thing going on there. I don't know. What do you think? Survival Seamstress says, how about 4 years of service to our country for student loan cancellation? Yes. Love it. I think it should be mandatory to serve, to be honest. I think Israel's got they've got the right idea, man. I think, yeah. Daniel's he's got a little irritation with me here, apparently. When you're in the hospital the next time, ask your providers how much they sacrifice to pay student loans to learn how to save your life. Ask if you dare. Well, that's silliness. That's silliness because, again, it's the colleges. And how about this? Has anybody been really looking into the pricing of what it really costs to do stuff at a hospital? Oh, how come those costs for like a drug is like $500 for that pill when it costs them 20 cents to make? Why? Because they can and the politicians allow it. That's it. You're asking questions that don't even apply, man. It doesn't even apply. How about better decisions, says Terry? How about better decisions about going to college? Not everyone is going to be successful just because they went to college. Yes, I'm a huge proponent of trade schools. I would even say most people. Now, this isn't an uneducated guess. I'm not a scientist of numbers, but I would guess that most people would be better off not having 4 years of debt. I can tell you right now, where we live in the paper, every week there's a local paper that comes out. And I would honestly and truthfully tell you that I would say there's at least 20 to 30 big companies that advertise in this paper for good paying jobs. I mean, starting out at $25 an hour for no education, zero. And they'll give you like $20,000 a bonus if you just stick around for a year. If you just stick around, 20 grand. But now, and I talk to trade school people too, because there's a local place, electrician place, that they're always hiring. They're willing to hire people who don't have any education. They'll pay for it if you agree to work for them for a year, and then poof, you're, what do they call it, a yeoman? Not a yeoman. The electrician thing where you're not a basic guy and you're not like master, but they'll pay for it. What kind of great deal is that? So there are jobs to be had where you can make great money. I mean, around here, they're making $30, $40 an hour without batting an eyelash and not owning the company. Do you think they would be better off going to a 4-year degree and coming out with no job and a bunch of debt? And look at all the silly degrees that are out there now. I mean, honestly, it blows my mind. But that's even off topic. I wanted to bring up this book, Journeyman. Thank you, Monica. You're right. I knew there was a man in there, yeoman. It was not the right thing. But look up this book, download it, and then you can see what they're actually up to. Do your best to get in your politicians' faces and make them aware that this is not okay. What they're doing is not okay. Delaney B says, the problem is no one actually wants to work. You know what? Around here, that is honestly the big problem. Truthful. Matter of fact, I went and did some video work for a, I'm not going to say what kind of company, just because I don't want to, divulge anything that they may feel like is private. But they were looking for welders. This company was looking for welders. And they were willing, get this, they were willing, if a person had a good attitude and they would show up on time, that's all. They were willing to train them how to weld. They would give them a place to live. They had a bunch of houses for people to live, small houses, but you had a place to live and you got a salary and they'd teach you. And then after that, you'd make $60 an hour. How about that? How about that? Man, oh man. No one wants to work 40 hours and still not be able to afford to live, says Christopher. I have no idea what you're talking about. Because around here, if you're willing to work and show up on time, you'll make plenty of money to live. You'll make plenty. Shree says, and she's from the UK. Oh, Christopher, if you're talking about inflation, I agree with you on that. I totally agree. It's nuts. It's nuts. I'm talking about how do you earn a living wage? Well, there's plenty of ways around here. It's just Delaney B's point is accurate, I think, that, you know what? There's a lot of people that just simply don't want to work. 60K is nothing? Oh my gosh, man. I've been living on 60K for years. I have no idea what you're talking about. You must roll large, man. He's got the fat stacks of money. Sri Patel says, Brad, the stuff they teach us at school is unnecessarily hard and doesn't give us any life skills. That's true. It's true. That's one of the reasons why we homeschool. I mean, 60 grand, man. Are you serious? You think 60 grand is nothing? Oh my gosh. You just live in like New York City, because that doesn't make sense to me, man. Jacksonville, Florida. Rent is $2,000. I used to live in Florida, and I've been in Jacksonville many times. I have friends that live in Jacksonville. Well, then, here's the thing, man. It's called supply and demand, brother. Move. You know what? Okay. To give you an idea, and I'm not trying to bust your chops, Christopher. I'm really not. I promise you. I'm just irritated about these tactics that these radicals are using, and one of them is student debt. But I want to say something about up here, okay? You say $2,000 for rent, okay? Where I live, you could draw a circle around our house and go probably 50 miles. And the average price for land to own it, is about $2,000, $2,500 an acre to own it. To own it. Well, it doesn't take too many $2,000 a month rents to buy 1 acre and put something up for far less than that, man. I understand that stuff is expensive down in very populated places, but there are options. There are options, man. I was talking to Bear Independent today. Just texting back and forth. They're having a good time at their gathering. They had some barbecue on the grill that looked, oh man, I was straight up jealous. Matter of fact, I think I might be able to call it up. But no, I can't actually. Yeah. But around here, it's not that costly. I get that, living down there, it's a trade-off for everything. But wages are higher. But then again, up here, man, I'll tell you what, become a welder. I mean, I don't know how old you are by your little photo there, but you got some salt and pepper like I do. So maybe we're not spring chickens. I don't know. I'm not. But, I could probably still get out there and do a welding gig if I needed to. But I do video work. I produce music and I do this kind of stuff. This is extra. This is just fun. I like communicating what we do with the homestead. But video, audio, that's production. That's my background. And now we're learning to do the homesteading thing. That's how this all came about. But anyway, the main thing is to let you know about this movement so that maybe you can kind of, in your own way, push back, tell your politicians, don't go along with this, not interested. It's theft. It's straight up theft. I don't care how you cut it to say, all right, government, we're going to pay all of these people a bunch of money out of your taxes, meaning you got to pay it. You got to pay it. That's taking from one person and giving it to another. That's stealing. I don't see how anybody could think this is okay in any way. Why? Let's just say it this way. It's completely illogical, because even if you're saying student loans are too high, I would say probably. I would probably agree with you, but then why? Because the schools are charging too much. No one will ever say that. No. We won't say that. Because then now you got all these professors and all this money and blah, 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 blah. So if the student loans are too much, then why aren't we talking about the schools? But even if I agreed, okay, student loans are too much, how is that justification to take from somebody else and give it to somebody else? That doesn't fix the problem at all. It is socialism, Terry. You're right. You're right. Daniel Morse, sorry. I'm not trying to bust your chops, man. It's the 9% compounding interest on the original loans. Then why did they take the loan? They didn't have to take the loan. I mean, that's what's crazy to me too. This is complete lack of personal responsibility. They made the deal with the college. They got the loan. They read, well, let's hope they read the page. Let's hope they read what's the deal here? They signed it. They agreed to it. Well, why are they griping now? Why are they griping now? They made the deal. Government spending is way worse than any topic you can throw out. Oh, Christopher, don't get me started on that, bro. You know what? Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Because truth, that is truth, my friend. That's truth. And it's taking from us and giving it to not even our students. It's giving it to, what do they say? It's the most corrupt nation that we know of. Oh, man. That's why they're not in NATO. And if you guys don't know the nation, I can't say the name because YouTube loves them. But so that's why they weren't allowed in NATO, if you guys remember. Ain't that something? Yeah, Battle Axe says they didn't read the paperwork anymore. Someone who applies for a credit card, they just went, oh boy, I'm getting money. Yeah. A bed under, I don't know how to say your thing, Dawn. Lockdowns, forced experimental. I wonder what was going on before. Oh, yeah. Interesting. That's interesting. Here's the thing, guys. Again, last push. It's not my book. I'm not associated with this anyway. I heard it and I said, oh gosh, we got to communicate this. It's called Beautiful Trouble, a toolbox for revolution. You can download it for free. You can see what they're doing. It used to be Rules for Radicals was the go-to book on how to disrupt Saul Alinsky. Now it's this one. And I highly recommend that we get informed. And here's another interesting thing too. If we get active to try to take back what is being taken away from us, you could use these rules, just flip them around. Use them just the other way. Now, last thing. I got something free for you. Free. For you guys that have been around a while, you know what I'm going to say. So I write music. One of the things I do is I write music that is actual Bible scripture so that it's for memorization. So you can listen to some nice music. It's all produced, guitars, bass, drums, the whole thing. But then I sing the scripture, straight scripture, and I don't charge for it. It's free. So you could download it, and just to see if it's any good, you could just download it for free. Go to bigfamilyhomestead.com. There's no strings attached. You don't have to sign a thing or none of it. You just get it free. And there's a new song, by the way. I just did Psalm 13. And I think there's about 14 of them done now. I kind of don't keep track because I just keep going. Right now, I'm going to start working on Psalm 51. But go to bigfamilyhomestead.com. It's in the store, but it's $0. You can download them all. Hopefully you like them. Hopefully you share them. And that is it. I just wanted to make you aware of what's going on. And we're probably going to be back tomorrow afternoon, see what happens. Yeah. So there you go. You guys have an amazing and awesome. Oh, here's one of the scripture tunes right now. Here we go. Have an awesome and blessed day, guys. Bye.
Trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. For the lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth and forevermore. Aside to their crooked ways, the Lord will lead away with evildoers. Peace be upon Israel, for the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth and forevermore. As the mountains surround